Hey, and welcome to our channel. This is Merch Elephant. So we're going to be doing a video about Merch Informer today. So the reason I'm doing this video is I see in the groups a lot. I don't use it a lot. I signed up for it a while. I'm still using, I'm still paying for it because I want to hold my price, but I just don't find myself using it a whole lot, and that baffles me. I think, and this is the thought I was having the other day when I actually made this post. The number one thing to be successful on Merch by Amazon is not necessarily your design quality. It's not even necessarily your keywords, right? So you're probably looking at that and going, what? It's research. It's understanding where customers are spending their money. And for me personally, Merch Informer is the one tool I use every single day that helps me to figure out where people are spending their money on Amazon. Like, I want to go where there's demand. I want to go where there is not a ton of competition. All of those things are much easier to find with Merch Informer versus just randomly putting things into the Amazon search bar. It just streamlines the process for me. It allows me to do everything all in one spot. I still do some things on Amazon because I do want to see what other people are doing that don't necessarily do merch shirts. But literally, like 90% of the research we do is strictly going to Merch Informer, using the different modules, and putting it all in one place, keeping it all together so when I want to find something, it's all organized too. And I think that's the thing that's kind of underrated, right? Like, most people use Merch Informer by just going to the Merch Hunter, putting in a BSR range, and clicking through it and just looking at shirts. There's so much more you can do. So let's dig into it. What you're looking at right here, and you won't see the full thing because I'm actually going to block out quite a bit of it, is our good friend Michael Essany's newsletter, the Merch Momentum's Monday Strategy Guide. So this is an older one. I talked to Michael about this, and he gave me permission to be able to show you guys a couple of the keyword ideas and just give you an idea of like how in-depth this thing is, right? So this is one of his weekly strategy guides. It's $10 a month, okay? $10 a month for every week. You get a strategy guide that is literally, since I've signed up, I don't think it's been less than 25 pages. And it's not like 25 pages with like one idea on each page. Like, it is just full of all kinds of information, okay? And I know you guys are going, well, this is supposed to be a Merch Informer video. Well, I'm going to highlight the two tools I think that most people should be using in Merch by Amazon every single day. This is by far one of the best tools we have in terms of finding ideas. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go down to this t-shirt keyword and niche leads. And like I said, I'm going to block out a decent percentage of this, but I'm going to highlight a couple of different terms. We're going to use Merch Informer with this, combine it, and show you guys how we use the tool. So in this case, we're going to start with Mom Play Outside with Wine t-shirt. So we're going to go over here. And what we have here is the favorites module, okay? And what this does is this allows us, when we're searching, to actually save this stuff and keep it organized, not just to save it to a random favorites or just, go to Amazon, highlight the ASIN, put it on a spreadsheet, which I know some people are doing. Like, you don't need to do that, and I'm going to show you why. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with product search. And some of you guys might be wondering why we're not going to the Merch Hunter, right? And that's the reason that I'm doing this, is because product search is live search. What this does is it literally pulls up all of the shirts that you're looking for within that range. So we're going to go Mom Wine shirt. Actually, just go Mom Wine. And this will take a little bit of time. It's actually pulling up all of the results right now. So what this does, is it pulls up all of the Mom Wine results that are live on Amazon right now, merch shirts, and puts them in order by BSR. Give it a second for it to finish pulling it up. Okay. And you may be wondering why I didn't necessarily go Mom Play Outside with Wine t-shirt. So what this is this is an idea for a particular niche, like a type of shirt, right? And we'll definitely do this. But what I'm going to do is, Michael's doing his research. He knows that there are Mom wine shirts out there that are popular, right? Like, this is the niche. Mom's the niche. This is the sub niche wine. So I want to look at all of those shirts because, you know what? There's probably an opportunity outside of just Mom Play Outside with Wine shirt. I think the thing that some people make a mistake with the Merch Momentum newsletter is thinking that they only need to do that one shirt. These are ideas. They're not necessarily like, you should make this shirt. They're an idea to help you spark your research. So when we come to this page, there's a lot of information here, okay? And this is why I really, really like Merch Informer. We have all of this information here that we should be paying attention to. Lowest price is $11.95. The highest price is $23.99. But look here, here's our average price, right? I don't arbitrarily set price. I don't just randomly choose something. Like, what we do is we want to look at the market and we want to see what the average is. So this right here is good information for me. This is higher than the average price is normally on merch. Normally the merch price is somewhere in the range of like $16.99. So it's somewhere around 18 bucks. So guess what? I'm going to price to the market here. I'm not going to price it like arbitrarily $19.99. I'm not going to go, my design is so much fucking better that you guys are going to buy this at this price, because that doesn't happen. Like, we're going to price to the market. Average BSR here, 1.3 million. That's also good. A lot of times when you're going to this, especially like smaller niches, they are going to be a lot higher average BSR. So it's probably propped up right now because of Mother's Day, which is part of the reason I'm showing this, because Mother's Day is almost over, and I don't want to take away from the value that people have already paid for with the Merch Momentum strategy guide. So we're doing some stuff that might be a little bit dated, but it'll give you guys the idea of how we're doing it. So here is the next thing I think that people forget all the time is here. All right, this keyword count. So I hear all the time, how do I find keywords? What are we supposed to do with keywords? What's your strategy with keywords? Guess what? All the information is right here. What this is this is all of the keywords that are most popular in all of these listings. And you can see this little count here next to what the most popular ones are, right? Guess what? The ones that are ranking well, these probably have a decent percentage of these in here, okay? These are the keywords that I'm going to be using more often than not in my listings. I'm probably going to use them in some combination. It might have a couple of uniques in terms of, just things I think that might make it a little bit different. I want to make it about the shirt. I'm not just going to shove in other ones. But this right here, like, these are the keywords you should be using. These are the keywords you should be paying attention to. So you see dog right here. We're going to see why that's in there here in just a second. It's a pretty popular shirt. I'm sure if you've been doing research on Amazon for Mother's Day, you've seen them. So, coming down here, again, the whole idea why I use Merch Informer is all of the information is right here. I don't have to click through anything. I don't have to go back and forth with anything. Like, I don't need to click on this link here and go to Amazon and wait for it to load. Because guess what? All the fucking information is right here. So price, $14.99. BSR is right here. Features, so that's our bullet. There's no description. Here's the reviews, okay? And so, really quickly, the shirt's probably been up for a while because it says maternity right here. That's a no-no on Amazon. So just heads up, if you guys have any shirts out there that you're doing for pregnant women, do not use that word right there. That's a red flag. You'll get an automatic rejection. So, here's our ASIN, here's our price, here's our BSR. Estimated monthly sales, we get this question all the time. I don't think it's particularly accurate. It's not something I pay a lot of attention to. I care more about all of this information here. The one thing that Product Hunt doesn't have that I do enjoy in Merch Informer, and I'll show it to you guys right now, or Merch Hunter, I'm sorry. Let's go. Shirt. Same thing. It's going to take a second. I'll show you the one feature in Merch Hunter that I do enjoy. But if you're doing research quickly and you want to just look at a niche and go across it very quickly and come up with stuff for your designers, Product Hunt generally for me is faster and it's better. The one thing that it doesn't have, and this is what the one thing that I really like with Merch Hunter, is average BSR. Okay, so average BSR is what it's been for the last 30 days. It gives you a better snapshot than just BSR. Just BSR right here is a snapshot in time. It's what that BSR is on Amazon right at that moment. Average BSR gives you a much better idea. So if the last 30 days this has been an under 200K shirt, guess what? That's a shirt that's had lots of sells, which means there's a market for that shirt. That means that people are actually out there buying that shirt. And this is the other thing that I like about the Merch Hunter thing that they don't have in product search. So kind of jumping around a little bit just to show you guys. Have you guys ever used this right here? What this is BSR and price history. And for me, this is far more important than just BSR if I'm determining if there is an actual market for a shirt, right? And what this is this is a sales rank graph. So this is a graph of all the different times that sales rank has changed, or they've been tracking the changes across Amazon, okay? And every single time that you see a dip in sales rank, what that means is it's a sale. So start here somewhere around February, right? And it continues to climb until we get the first sale here, okay? So what this dip is this is the first sale, all right? And that doesn't sell, it goes back up in BSR. And you'll see this with your own shirts, right? When they don't sell over a long period of time, the BSR keeps going up and up and up. And then we have a sale, okay? Creep up, sale, sale, sale. Every time you see a dip, every time you see these little marks as they come down, what that means for you is these are sales. So you see this like really, really up and down pattern right here. Like that's a good thing. And what you'll notice on shirts that sell really, really well is you'll see just kind of a graph kind of like that where it dip, 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 dip until it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. This is telling you that this shirt is selling all the time, right? So this isn't necessarily fit in with our, I play outside with wine, what we started with initially. However, it tells me that maternity, or not maternity, pregnancy and wine it's a popular topic. So that's something that we should probably add to our favorites. So add to favorites. This is the one thing that most people forget about and they don't do. They just go, okay, I'll do this shirt. And then they click on it, they add it to a spreadsheet, whatever. Add to favorites. Come up here. I'm just going to show it to you right now. This isn't the way I would normally do it. I would normally go through the entire niche and just add shirts. So add to favorites. And you can go through here and you can actually select where you want to put it. So in this case, the way that I design my favorites is I have trending. So that's whatever's hot at the moment. Holiday. So Cinco de Mayo, Mother's Day, Father's Day, 4th of July. And then I sub-niche inside of this. You can create little trees that make it easier to keep everything organized. And the reason I do this is I want to be able to send off to my designer a spreadsheet that has similar things across it all the way across. I don't want to send them off at just a lump of designs, right? Because I want them to be efficient. I want them to work on the same stuff at the same time because they're more likely to get more designs done that way. So for Mother's Day, I'm going to send them a spreadsheet that just has Mother's Day wine, Mother's Day dogs, etc. So we'll submit, it saves it, we move on. So we're going to go back to product search because there's some information in product search the same way that it's not necessarily in Merch Hunter, and I find it a little bit faster for me to scan through and find things. I'm just kind of free-flowing here, guys. I don't have like a written down list of things I want to go. I just want to show you guys all the different tools that we use and show you where, I think there are opportunities for you guys to improve your process. So again, we're back to mom wine shirts. I've already saved that one. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how I look at these things too, just to give you guys an idea. So shut up, deliver, you're fine. That to me does not say mom, wine, Mother's Day. That to me is more Father's Day. Not necessarily my thing. Support day drinking, kind of also the same thing. So here's a shirt I was talking about earlier. Dog mother, wine lover. If you've been doing research for Mother's Day, you've probably seen these shirts. Okay. We'll go ahead and add that to the favorites. Coffee, mom, wine, repeat. Mama needs wine. We're seeing a lot of some of the similar thing. Mama needs some wine. And there are opportunities here, guys, right? Like I'm not necessarily going to make this exact shirt. I'm not going to do Mama needs wine. What I am going to do is I'm going to do a message about how, like, at the end of the day, the mom wants a glass of wine. So how do we figure that out, right? Winder woman. Guys, don't do that. That's a bad idea. Don't touch on anything that's related to, and I know you're going to say it's parody, everything else. Don't touch on anything that's related to comic book movies or anything else. They're partner accounts. Wifey, dog mom, wine drinker. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of this, like, very basic text, very few graphics. Dog mother, wine lover, right? Just as an example right here. Click through it. Just going to show you guys the shirt really quickly. I've actually looked at this one already. Okay, so dog mother, wine lover, right? And the layout's not bad. It's cute. It's simple. And some people might say, like, this is going to be hard to knock off, right? But you notice that there's, like, no graphics. There's nothing in it that's necessarily going to make it stand out. And this to me, right, like when it comes to text-only designs, are the easiest ones to knock off. Like, you're far better, like the layout's good. Font choices are good. It's legible. It's big on the shirt. I think it's cute. However, when it's just text, this is the one where you're going to have the most knockoffs. This is the one I'm for sure going to send this to a designer, because I know that I can add a couple of graphics. Maybe it's a dog paw. Maybe it's, instead of the eye here for wine, we're adding a wine glass. Like, there's a lot of things that we can do to change this around, make it our own, and make it, in my mind, better. And that's what we talk about when I hear all the time, like, you guys are copying shirts. No, we're not fucking copying shirts, right? Like, A, there's nothing original. Like, this person didn't think of the saying. And B, like, I'm putting out a completely different product, something that is dramatically different from whatever they're doing here. And to me, it's a better representation of what the market wants, because I like it more. And, we're doing research on all of this stuff. So, back to this. Select favorites. Just want to drink wine and pet my golden retriever. I'm seeing a lot of like dog mom stuff. And this is the beauty of doing research when you start with the Merch Momentum newsletter, right? Like, it gives us one idea, but when we get on Amazon and we start looking at all this stuff, like, I'm not necessarily seeing a ton of stuff out there for moms playing outside with wine, which is the idea. Like, there's not a lot of stuff out there. There's probably some research that Michael's done that we should be doing those shirts. But I am seeing a shit ton of dog mom shirts and dog mom wine shirts. So, retriever mom. Anyways, before we get too deep into this, because it's already like 16 minutes in, we're going to go add to favorites. All right, we're going to select where we want to put it. In this case, I'm going to put these in wine because they're all related to wine. Yes, there's like dog stuff here, but the dog stuff I'm going to do is going to be more often just moms and dogs. So we're going to submit that. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come down to our favorites. And we're going to hit this download products list. Oh, I got to hit a category first, sorry. So these are all the ones that we just saved right here, right? I'm going to hit download products list. Now, when you download the product list, it gives you the option to be able to do all of these things here, right? And you can add or take away anything you want. For my designers, I don't necessarily care about them having features, description, price. I don't care about any of that. I don't care even necessarily if they have an ASIN. What I do care about is the title of the shirt, the link of the shirt, and the image URL. And so I'm going to do this right now. And you'll notice that we get a CSV here, okay? So let's open this up. All right, so here's the CSV. I've paused it for a second just to name some things. But, so what you're going to see here is the titles of your shirts, right? Okay. It's a link to the actual shirt on Amazon. And more importantly for your designers, an actual link that they can click through that has the shirt. They don't necessarily have to go to Amazon. It's easier for them to actually just click on this and actually see the shirt, right? And so what this lets me do is it very quickly allows me to, A, separate my niches, send these off to my designers, especially like, if you have multiple designers, to very quickly be able to split things up, send off particular things you want to send to certain designers. You can even organize that in here, right? Like, so say you have a favorites, right? And you set up designer A, designer B, designer C, and then split up the stuff inside here to help keep things organized for you. Name of the game for me, because this is, not my full-time job. Like, this is something I'm doing on the side. How do I maximize my time? And that's what Merch Informer does for me. So this is one of the things that really, really helps me speed things up. I'm not constantly like copying URLs, putting them in a spreadsheet, having to name it, all that stuff. The fact that these links are actually clickable, that they can go through and just click on it. This is why I love Google Sheets, first of all, but second of all, like not having to set all that stuff up, not having to manually copy all this stuff is a massive, massive time saver. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually now go and look at another shirt here. Let's look through this really quickly. Again, I did not do a ton of planning on this. So, okay, let's do this one here. We're going to do Fire Academy graduation shirt. So, we're going to add a category here. Fire Academy. And just to show you guys that, like, that's how easy it is literally to be able to set this stuff up, to set up your sub niches. Just make sure you save it, otherwise it's not going to save for you. And we're going to go to Merch Hunter just to show you guys this tool a little bit as well. When I'm doing, the other reason that when I start off with product search is I don't necessarily know that there's going to be something within that range that I'm searching for. So I'd rather just look at everything to start off. So, graduation. This is probably going to be one of our longer videos, and it's literally just because there's so much stuff to go over in this. You know, Neil does a great job with his YouTube channel explaining how the different modules work. That's how I figured out everything that I'm doing here. You know, I highly recommend, if you're paying for Merch Informer, just actually sit down and watch those videos. It'll open up your eyes. So, again, back to all the information that we get right now. So total results is 100, lowest price is $12.88, highest price is $27.99, average price $18.58, average BSR 1 million. So you notice this is actually a lower average BSR than what we saw with the mom wine shirts. Come down here, keyword count, firefighter, gift, family, day, graduation, Christmas, great line, etc. Okay, these are the keywords that we're going to want to have in our listing. So I don't know if Christmas is necessarily something I would want to do, but I will say that these kind of gifts or these kind of shirts make popular gift items when we get into November and December. So Christmas is probably something I might include in my bullet points. I don't know. I go back and forth on that. So, straight out of Fire Academy. Like, we've seen this style shirt a million times. It's not something that I'm going to try and knock off in this particular way, right? But I might use the saying. So, I'm going to add to favorites. Again, look at the information here. Price is $22.99. This is a standard shirt. BSR is $276, $180. You know, I'd be curious what it looks like over time, but you know, that shirt's selling, so I'd tap that. Proud firefighter's mom. This looks like a straight knockoff of this shirt here. Oh, it's the same company, or same person. Word cloud. This is a pretty common shirt. I've seen this quite a bit. And if you notice, the BSR is creeping up on this, right? But all of these things are selling. So when you're in the situation that I'm in, where I've got, you know, we're tier 4K, we're going to be tier 6K, probably Monday, I would guess, and I can upload 400 shirts a day. If I have a shirt like this that's selling, and even if the BSR is like 1.5 million, it's probably selling once a month or twice a month, like, it's still worth looking at. So again, we're going to go ahead and add this to favorites. Click on that, submit. It's just that easy. So when you compare that to like going to Amazon and having to go back and forth between a spreadsheet and, you know, even with some of the tools that we use, like the Merch Mastermind Toolkit, which makes it easier to be able to snipe ASINs and put them into the spreadsheets and stuff, this still saves me way, way, way more time. It's just not close. So quick overviews on the different modules, because this is the other thing that I think a lot of people don't do. Like, I think a lot of people get just kind of wrapped up in their day-to-day and what they're doing. This is something I do literally every single day, and I've shown it in another video, but I just want to go over it. Like, this is how I kind of keep an eye on what's selling on Amazon, and it takes probably 10 to 15 minutes a day. But it's a great way to come up with some ideas and to open up your eyes to other things that you should be researching, right? So this is basically the top 1,000 shirts, 100,000 and above, right? I don't pay a ton of attention to the stuff down below. I do look at it, so I do both. But I'll start here from 1 to 100,000. And let me show you a little trick here that I think will probably help you. This is something I don't see anybody talking about either. The fact that you can actually add negatives into search, right? See this thing right here? What this does is it allows you to remove, and you'll see that I've done this quite a bit. It allows you to remove a lot of the popular shirts that are out there that are going to rank really high that we don't care about because I can't make these shirts. I can't make Star Wars shirt. I can't make Marvel. I can't make Rick and Morty. I can't make Shane Dawson shirts or Fortnite, right? So what this does is it eliminates all those. I'm not scrolling through all of them. And you'll see that in just a second. And there's others that I would add in here. I just haven't done it because I'm lazy. But, okay. This one here, this is a brand that just popped up on Amazon. I happened to notice the other day. So don't knock that shirt off, guys. And what I do is I literally just scan through these and I look for patterns. I look for, this is a knockoff of a Barstool shirt. Just in case you guys are wondering, in case you're wondering if you should make that shirt. That's Terry Rozier. He's a Boston Celtic, I believe. So first off, that is not something you want to make. Second of all, like Barstool is the company, is the one that created this. Somebody's going to get banned for that shirt. I can't believe this is still showing up either. So, happy last day of school, right? So I'm looking for patterns. I'm looking for things that are coming up. And this is probably a little bit late. I think most kids are getting out of school late May, maybe early June. I don't know. I don't have kids. But like these are the patterns that I'm looking for. I'm looking for events, holidays, whatever. So, wife, mom, boss, that's Mother's Day. This is how I found, for example, with all of the protests that are going on with teachers right now, that's how I found this really, really early, by doing this. Like if you're just in your own bubble and you're just happening to like go down a list to find shirts, you're going to miss some things. This is something that is, I think, very, very important if you're going to be able to get on trends and get on trends early, is literally just make this a daily practice. Go through here, scan, look at all of this stuff, and see what's coming up. And to my own detriment, I got in my own bubble. We were working on a lot of different things, and I wasn't doing this consistently, and I totally missed out on this one. I didn't realize that the Derby was falling on Cinco de Mayo, because I for sure would have made shirts, because I know these things sold a ton, and we totally missed on that. It's part of the reason I think we missed on Cinco pretty badly. So, again, red for red. So, anytime you're starting to see this, and again, it's not necessarily taking notes, it's not trying to like just figure this things out immediately. It's we're looking at this and going, where am I seeing things consistently? This one right here, anytime you see official, steer clear. Don't knock those off, guys. And so, I would say if you're not making shirts right now for these protests, you might want to think about it. 17K BSR. Like these shirts are selling like crazy. Okay? And I think you guys get the idea, right? And let's just show you this really quickly too. Again, go over this again. So BSR price history. This is what a shirt that is taking off looks like. You see it? So it starts off here. It's our first sale here on April 22nd. Sale, 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 and it just keeps going lower and lower and lower. And what this is, like, it's actually selling more times than they're actually scraping Amazon, so you're not seeing all the different sales. You're just seeing it rocket down here to this low BSR. So, other things that are useful in here, right? Trademark check. So, I wouldn't say that this is the end all. This isn't, I don't use Trademarkia necessarily as the final determining factor for me, but what I do is I click on it to find out if some of this stuff might be trademarked or not. Okay, it makes it easy to just stay here in one spot and look at it if it's something. I've never used the report infringement thing here. Where does that go actually? Okay, so this will, if I actually probably should use this because I've stumbled across my own shirts. That's actually nice. See, I'm learning things today, guys. So if you notice a pixel for pixel copycat of one of your shirts, guess what? You click on that button right there. It's all right there. I hear all the time from people like, how do you keep track of this stuff? Guess what? This makes it easier. Competition check. And this is just kind of a visual. And what it's doing is it's just pulling up with stuff by this right here. It works better with when you're doing keywords, like specific keywords, and I'll show that to you in just a second. But again, the idea is like you have a ton of information here that you can take advantage of, that you're not going back and forth. So Other things that I do use the keyword tool. It's just strictly the keywords that, let's go. Back to this example. I consistently get that question, like, what's the keyword tool that you use the most? The keyword tool I use the most is the auto suggest bar on Amazon, or this right here if I'm quickly trying to come up with things, okay? And you'll see like competition is low here. The CPC data is coming from, I believe Neil said Bing search results, and Google, like the Google Trend stuff. So same thing, Google search volume, CPC. So we click on details here. We'll get a little bit more information. All right, so estimated monthly sales volume, competition score is an A. An A is better than an F. It's just like grades in school. You can see the actual Google trend here. So what we're seeing, like this spike here, is around Christmas. But it does seem to be trending up. And related keywords, right? So these are actually like a word cloud. So the more common that they are, the bigger that they will be in here. Trademark check, it's safe. Again, use USPTO for the final determination on that, but I've found that this is generally pretty good. The one last thing I'm going to go over with you guys is this one that they just added right now. Well, two things. This right here, when we have questions about, is my shirt indexed for a particular phrase? There's a way to do this on Amazon, but what I like to do is if I'm trying to track that phrase, it's probably the phrase that I care about the most in terms of keywords, and I want to see how it's getting affected over time. And what this allows you to do is you can actually put an ASIN in. So you put in one of your shirts. I'm not going to put in one of mine, but you put the ASIN in here for one of your shirts, and then you can actually add in keywords or keyword phrases, and it'll track it over time. So you can see, like, for example, if you're testing things and you want to know, if your ad spend is having an effect on how it's ranking for a particular keyword term, this is how you determine it. This is how I kind of figured out some things with St. Patrick's Day when I was using AMS really heavily to figure out how to get things to rank. So I'm not going to get too deep into that, but if you're smart, you'll figure out the same things I did. Merch archive. This is not going to come into play a ton right now, but I guarantee you when you get into like Halloween and Thanksgiving, this is going to become really, really important. This is actually what they're doing is they archived all of their sales data over the last, however many months. And so as we get closer to those dates when it started up, you're going to be able to see when the trend started to take off for certain shirts, like when things actually started to sell on Amazon. So we're not depending on Google Trends. Now we actually have trend data directly from Amazon because they've been keeping this for that entire time. That's going to become really important. Trend Hunter. So this is the last thing I'm going to go over. Go to movers and shakers. All right. So this is kind of like Merch Hunter in the sense that I'm looking for this for trends. However, this gives us a little bit more of a visual in terms of how much these things are actually moving, right? And I know Neil's going to actually probably add some more functionality on this, but just starting out, like, this is a really nice visual for us because it pulls up the sales rank graph, and it's going to allow us quickly, just same thing as Merch Hunter, scan through it and look and see, what you're seeing in terms of sales, right? So this right here, a lot of these are just single sales. You're seeing this mark here, and then it's dropping, right? And you're seeing a huge BSR drop because it's starting from a really, really high BSR and getting a sale, so it's going to drop really high. Ideally, I'm hoping that we're going to see some filters that are going to allow us to make this a little bit better in terms of, like, what I'd like to see ideally is some way to figure out ones that have had multiple sales drop over this period. So what I'm doing with this is I'm looking for stuff like this. Okay, I want to see multiple sales drop across a daily period, or in this case, one of the things that we can do too is we can sort by weekly. And this is research, guys. This is when you guys are asking, how do you find trends? This is how you find trends. Like, it's not necessarily like this script or a specific way to research that you're going to come up with every single trend. It's being open to the data and paying attention to things and just going over it For example, this is one I would have had no idea about. My hero has apraxia. I don't even know what the hell that is. What I do know is that this shirt was listed, it looks like April 12th, at a sale April 27th, had another one here, another one here. So in the course of a week or so, basically from April 27th to here, it looks like we've probably had 3 or 4 sales. That's interesting to me. I'm definitely going to check this out when I get done with this video. I suggest you do the same. So I'm looking for that. I'm looking for these patterns. Multiple sales. Best coach ever. I mean, sure, that's soccer. It's not a niche that we're in, but yeah, these are what I'm looking for. I'm looking for those visuals where I'm seeing those multiple, and this is the beauty of it being visual, is I can quickly scan through it. Frenchie mom. Bite me. Fishing shirt. Okay, you guys see the idea? Like, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for these spikes. These are the things that I'm looking for when I'm looking for a trending shirt. I'm kind of hoping we'll see one that's really kind of bouncing a lot. Like I said, this is brand new. I know Neil's going to add some functionality to it. I would like to see, ideally, the same thing as the other ones, where we would have the favorite option here so I can quickly save some of this stuff. There we go. This seems like a problem, unless this is an actual shirt for a company. Yeah, this is probably a knockoff. Don't do that. Anytime you see like GT86 or, you know what I mean, like the actual car logos on things, those belong to a company. Don't just make things. And for those of you guys that have been around for a while and have seen a lot of our videos, that like probably gets old, right? Like I try to harp on that all the time, but I know we have a lot of new people that are watching our stuff, so I just try and remind them, like, you want to do stuff that is not infringing on other people's properties. So anyways, you get the idea. Like, for me, the reason I like this is it's visual. It allows me to quickly scan through things, and I can find things that are hopefully trending before other people are, right? Because if all you're doing is depending on Merch Hunter and looking for a shirt that is like, you know, between 1 and 100,000 BSR, let that in there. Here's the thing. If the shirt is already ranking here at 4K BSR, you're too late. You need to be on it sooner than that. You need to be on it when it's at, 150K BSR and you don't have a ton of competition on it. If you want to get on a trend, you need to get on it early. So I hope this kind of gave you an overview. I'm going to be doing some more videos like this. I need to ideally show off the Merch Momentum. Why do I have a hard time with that? The Merch Momentum newsletter more too, because I'm telling you right now, guys, these are the 2 tools that, if you're doing merch by Amazon, are going to help you more than anything else to find the areas where there's demand and not a ton of people that are doing things, or find demand where there's not a lot of great things out there. And I'm going to harp on it again too. Design is important. Keywords are important. It's more important that you're making shirts that people are actually spending money on. Like, you can be an artist and you're making shirts that you love because you love your designs and everything else, but if you're making them for something that nobody is like looking for, if it's just for you, you're not going to make any money. And at the end of the day, that's why I do Merch by Amazon. I do it to make fucking money. And research to me is the thing that I spend more time on than anything else. It's the one thing that allows us to really, really, gain an advantage over our competition. It's figuring out where there's demand, where there's not a lot of competition, and then make shirts to fit that demand. So I hope this helped. And if you guys want some clarification on things, I would love to hear what you guys are looking for. These are essentially the modules I use the most. I don't use the competition checker necessarily, and I don't use the listing optimizer. They just don't really work for me in terms of what I'm doing. But all of this stuff makes a huge difference for me. And, just to remind you guys, with the favorites module, the ability to download that product list and just send it to my designer and not have to do anything else is such a massive time saver. Like, I'd forgotten about this until I was talking with Neil a little while ago about it, and he reminded me of it, and I was like, Jesus, I'm an idiot. I've been doing it the other way all this time. Like, this saves so much freaking time, and it makes it so much easier to keep things organized. So Do me a favor. If you guys are not using Merch Informer or you guys are not using Michael's newsletter, there's going to be links down below in the video. Click through it. I get paid a cup of coffee off of it. And it makes it a little bit easier for me to spend time doing videos like this. So I don't promote a ton of stuff on my channel. I don't run ads or anything. Like, this is just kind of how it compensates us a little bit and makes it a little bit easier for me to do these things. So thank you. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, hit subscribe. We're going to be doing a lot more of these videos. Ideally, my wife wants to do some design videos too. I know a lot of people have been asking about that. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will be more than happy to ask them.